I'm here together today also with a colleague from DGRTD, which is the research department from the European Commission. Myself, I'm indeed from the education department, mainly working on the European Universities Initiative and higher education. So for me today, it's really a pleasure to be here with you in this conference, as 4EU+, together with 16 other alliances, has started its work already in 2019, and 24 more European universities have started off in 2022. We really asked you to dream big because you passed a competitive selection procedure, and we asked you to really set up a new European university with joint educational programs, with joint research activities, and combining all parts of Europe. So to dream big, we asked you to help building by 2020-25 a European education area. We asked you to set up European inter-university campuses where students, staff and researchers can enjoy seamless mobility, be it physical, virtual or blended, and where you can really cooperate across languages, disciplines, cultures, borders, and where higher education diplomas and learning periods abroad are automatically recognized. We asked you to adopt also a challenge-based approach to learning, teaching and research, where you work together with students, academics, researchers, public and private sector actors to solve today's societal challenges. And we asked you to be more inclusive, to opening up your higher education programs to a more diverse types of learners, really offering flexible and modular study programs. And we also asked you to develop a joint research dimensions within your alliances to be supported by the European Union's Horizon program. And to achieve this long-term structural, sustainable and strategic cooperation within your European university, we really asked you to come forward with an ambitious long-term vision to create your alliance, transforming all levels of your institutions. As such, as the European University, you are acting as a catalyst for change for the entire higher education community. But what we see to date is that you are facing several hurdles in implementing your deeper and more ambitious cooperation. For example, the pooling of courses when it comes to accreditation and quality assurance of new joint programs, the introduction of new flexible learning paths, automatic recognition of study periods abroad, seamless and embedded mobility. Just some examples on the educational front where cooperation is still not as easy as it could and as it should be. And of course, you are facing hurdles in the sharing of infrastructure, be it human infrastructure, HR, physical and digital infrastructure. Because to us, it's clear that to realize the ambitions of the European universities, you of course also need the appropriate infrastructures, both for education and research, also digitally, especially given the COVID-19 pandemic, we have moved in a record speed to a digital transformation of all sectors. So you need this digital infrastructure connected and interoperable where needed. Because this topic of digital transformation is of course very topical right now and pertinent to the opportunities and challenges that the alliances are facing today. And we can already build on the great achievements of the Bologna process in the field of higher education, almost 35 years of transnational Erasmus Plus mobility and cooperation. But we feel now that we need to go further. We need an enabling environment also for you to make sure that your 4 missions, education, research and innovation at the service of society can be fully fulfilled. So we need also this jump in cooperation with regard to infrastructures. Because of course we do not want that the digital transformation leaves people behind. We feel of course that education, whether physical, digital or hybrid, should be available to all, and their infrastructure can help. In this future of hybrid solutions, we of course need to find a good balance between physical presence and digital education. And what we have seen, not only based on the experience of the COVID-19 pandemic, but also in view of the alliances of European universities that have been cooperating, is that we have seen different levels of digital capacity in the higher education sector. There are various challenges with regard to keeping learners engaged, ensuring staff having the support they need, and of course also the institutional capacity, the infrastructure capacity that each of you has. And we also see an issue with interoperability between systems. If I may there, I think somebody, it would be great if you could mute your mic, thank you. So with regard to interoperability, especially when cooperating in an alliance or a network, it's easier for both students and staff and for the administrative side to be able to work together if the systems are interconnected. And this is indeed from the Commission side what we are aiming for. In the next decade, we really want to strive to make connected university a reality. And for that, of course, sufficient digital capacity and infrastructure of universities is key. And the more widespread use of digital means that we will have to rely on a new and trusted technologies and platforms, which will require interoperability and have a solid European basis, and that could serve education and research needs also in an integrated manner. And at the same time, open standards are needed, allowing universities to take better control of their own data to make operation more effective. And in view of the European policies in this area, we are building on the Digital Education Action Plan that was adopted for the period 2021-2027, that really has the aim of boosting digital capacity and enhancing digital competences. So first of all, this digital education plan aims to develop a high-performing digital education ecosystem, really promoting connectivity, digital equipment provision, as well as digital content and teacher training. And second aim is, of course, it's completely linked to that, is the digital skills and competences for the digital transformation that students and staff would need to be fully operational in today and in the future. And support for the digital transition has also emerged as a key priority in the consultations with stakeholders and member states on the European strategy for universities that we have adopted in January this year, and which was also endorsed by the member states and the Council of the European Union in April this year. This higher education package, which contains this European strategy for universities and an accompanying council recommendation on building bridges for more effective higher education cooperation, is really meant to support the higher education sector in view of these future transitions. And first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank 4E+ and also the other alliances present here for their active contribution to the consultation process. And now that also member states have endorsed this vision, if I may link it to the digital, the infrastructure digital focus we are having here today, there are two objectives of the strategy that are crucial also for this aim. First of all, that we want to continue strengthening the European dimension in higher education and research. And secondly, that we want to empower universities as a key actor of change in the twin green and digital transitions. With regard to this really European dimension in higher education and research, one of the flagship initiatives that we are proposing in the European strategy to help university with the digital infrastructures they are having is a progressive scaling up of the European Student Card Initiative. As you may know, the aim of the Student Card Initiative is to abolish mobility paperwork and to eliminate on-site registration procedures. One of the components of the Student Card Initiative is a digital one-stop shop for higher education institutions, the Erasmus Without Paper network. So the aim is here to simplify immensely the management of student mobility by enabling universities to exchange electronically mobility-related data in a secure and streamlined manner, starting with Erasmus+ mobility. And over 3,000 universities and other types of higher education institutions are currently already involved in the Erasmus Without Paper network, and they are already exchanging learning agreements and interinstitutional agreements online. We are well aware that it's very ambitious to interconnect the more than 5,000 different IT systems from all the higher education institutions in Europe. And we know it takes time and it demands efforts from all sides. But in the long run, it will save time, money, and headaches, both for students and the higher education institutions. And taking into account the further mobility increases and due to also the increased budget that we have with Erasmus+, the need for such a solution is only bound to increase. So we welcome your continued efforts to make the Student Card Initiative and Erasmus Without Paper a success. With regard to the second priority of the European strategy for universities, really empowering universities in the twin green and digital transitions, we are proposing several actions to make these connected universities a reality. And for this, the Commission will, in close cooperation with stakeholders and the member states, as a follow-up of the digital education plan and a feasibility study that was written there. Therefore, we will support the launch and the rollout of a targeted European platform to promote cooperation between higher education institutions, compatible, for example, with the European Open Science Cloud and interoperable with other European standards. We are at the start of a consultation process here. So you will be involved, of course, in the next steps. Secondly, we will also help universities in co-developing guidelines and principles for allowing mutual access to services and enabling seamless knowledge and data exchange, reflecting this need for interoperability and openness. And of course, next to the infrastructure, it's of course also important to ensure that the digital skills are there for students and staff. So also there, the Commission will provide support, not only through Erasmus Plus supports, but also through the Digital Europe program, where, for example, we will support specialized education and training programs in cutting-edge digital technologies, for example, in artificial intelligence, in cybersecurity, and high-performance computing. For the Commission, it is clear that, and I'm sure many of you will agree with this after discussions today, it is clear that a lot of potential remains to be tapped in the digital field in the higher education sector, and through cooperating together, we can make further steps forward. With this, I hope I have informed you a bit further on the plans at the European level in the fields of higher education. My colleague that will come after me will provide you some more insights in the fields of research. So I'm happy afterwards to hear your ideas and thoughts. Thank you very much.